Elen Silla Lumen Omen Taelvo. Today I bring to you all another installment of our Kings of Arda series with the Kings of Numenor. As always, this will only have the most important deeds these kings did during their rule. The first king of Numenor was Elros Tar Miniator, who ruled from 32 to 442 of the Second Age. Elros led the Dunedain to Numenor, founding the realm, and he established the capital city of Armenelos. The second king was Vardamir Nolamon, and he was a king in name only, for he immediately passed the scepter to his son, thus starting the tradition of the king relinquishing his kingship while in full vigor. Tar Amandil ruled afterwards, from 442, officially 443, to 590. Little else is known of his rule. His son, Tar Elendil, is next, ruling from 590 to 740. And during his rule, Numenorian ships under Elendil's captain first returned to Middle-earth. Tar Elendil also created the position of Lord of Andunier, given to his grandson Valandil. Tar Meneldor was the next king, ruling from 740 to 883, and during his rule he had many conflicts with his son Aldarion, and Meneldor would shut down the Guild Adventurers. The sixth king was Tar Aldarion, who ruled from 883 to 1075, and he gave aid to Gil-galad in Lindon to prepare for the coming shadow. Aldarion also changed the law of succession to the oldest child of the king, not the oldest male. Tar Aldarion's daughter, Tar Encalame, became the first ruling queen of Numenor, ruling from 1075 to 1280, and she abandoned many of her father's previous policies to Middle-earth. Tar Anarion is next, ruling from 1280 to 1394, and other than that, little else is known. Tar Surion ruled from 1394 to 1556, and all that is known of him is that despite being the third child of Tar Anarion, his sisters refused the heirship due to their grandmother, Tar Encalame. Tar Telperion was the second ruling queen from 1556 to 1731, ruling during the War of the Elves in Sauron. She had no husband, thus being the first ruler to have no children. Tar Minister was the next king, ruling from 1731 to 1869, and before his rule he was the one who sent the Numenorian fleet to aid the elves. The 12th king was Tar Kiriatan. He ruled from 1869 to 2029, taking the scepter from Tar Minister before he would have in his own mind. Tar Kiriatan was greedy and cruel, as he was the king who began subjugating the men of Middle-earth to fill his lust for power. His son Tar Atanamir ruled from 2029 to 2221, though some sources say his rule ended in 2251. And he was the first king to speak aloud against the ban of the Valar and of the gift of Iluvatar. He also refused to give up his scepter until his death, being nothing more than a crazy old man by the end. During Tar Encalimon's reign, from 2221 or 2251, depending on the source, to 2386, the people of Numenor became divided between the king's men, the people loyal to the rebellion of the kings, and the faithful, men loyal to the traditions of old. The 15th king was Tar Telemaite, ruling from 2386 to to 2526. And he had a love of Mithril, so much that he ordered his servants to always search for Mithril in Middle-earth. His daughter, Tar Vani Melde, ruled from 2526 to 2637, being the third ruling queen, though she cared little about her rule, instead giving her husband Harukalamo regent authority of Numenor. Tar Alkarian was the next king, ruling from 2637 to 2737. However, his father had usurped the throne until his death in 2657, so Tar Alkarian ruled only for 80 years in earnest. The next king was Tar Kalmakil, and he ruled from 2737 to 2825, and he earned the hatred of Sauron, for he led much conquest of the Harad. Tar Ardaman was the next ruling king, ruling from 2825 to 2899, and he was the last king to take his kingly name in Quenya. The 20th king was Adunakor, and he ruled from 2899 to 2962, and he was the first king to take his name in Andunaik rather than Quenya, and his name caused problems with the faithful, for Adunakor means Lord of the West, a title belonging only to Manwë. The next king ruled from 2962 to 3033, and his name was Zimrathon, and little is known of him. The same can be said for Zakalthor, who ruled from 3033 to 3102. Gamilzor is the next king, ruling from 3102 to 3177, and he persecuted the faithful, moving them from Andunie to Romena in the east, where many of the faithful then fled Numenor. He also unknowingly married a faithful, who taught the oldest son the beliefs of the faithful. That king was Tar Palantir, who ruled from 3177 to 3255, and he attempted to bring Numenor back to its traditions, though the people still rebelled. Palantir would spend his days in grief until his passing. His daughter Miriel should have been the fourth ruling queen, but Pharazôn, her cousin, usurped the throne, forcing Miriel to marry him. Thus, the 25th king was Pharazôn, and he ruled from 3255 to 3319. And he captured and was corrupted by Sauron, and he attacked Valinor, which resulted in Pharazôn's burial under a mountain of rocks, and the downfall of Numenor itself. Thus, he was the last king of Numenor. Thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Feel free to like and subscribe for more content, and as always, let me know how I can better improve these videos. Thanks, and as the elves say, Namarie.